5 signs a narcissist is secretly obsessed with you. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Helping you to expose what they are really doing. Because that's just it. When a narcissist is obsessed with you, they will act like they don't care. And why will they act like they don't care? Because it's really weird. It's creepy behavior. But this is exactly what they do. Because they have an obsession with you. They can't let things go. They gotta keep holding on. For their own sense of power, control, and authority over you, they have to feel connected to you in some sort of way. They do not like separation. And why? Because they feel worthless, insignificant, inadequate by themselves. They feel like they're nothing on their own. And that is why they have to remain attached to you in some sort of way. They have to use all of the tools at their disposal to maintain this attachment to you. Because they don't ever want to lose that connection. Because they have an obsession. As you know what an obsession really is? It's got nothing to do with reality. You're not really this perfect, ideal person as they envision you to be in their minds. This is all just their feelings, it's their emotions. It's fantasy. And that's what they are applying to you. To see you in this light. To where they can't let go because they view you as ideal. They view you as perfect. And no offense to any of you, but none of us are perfect. None of us are completely flawless. We all have flaws. And if they were thinking about what we look like when we first wake up in the morning, if they were thinking about us on the toilet, you really think they'd be obsessing over us? Of course not. It's because of these fantasies in their minds. They envision us as being larger than life, as being ideal, as though we are living our best lives every day. And as though that never goes away. That's how they view us. That's how they envision us in their minds. And that's what keeps them holding on. Because if you really think about it, if they thought that we were broken down, if we were miserable, depressed, and there was nothing good going for us in our lives, and we weren't happy, you really think they would care? You really think they would be stalking us? Why would they waste their time? They do because of what they think they might be missing. They don't ever think of all of the things that we're going through, all of the things that we're dealing with. Remember, they lack empathy. They can't put themselves in our shoes. But yeah, they do have this sickness, and so they will be watching us. Whatever we do. It's not about what we do, it's about what's going on in their minds, their feelings, their emotions that are unrelated to us. But yeah, with that being said, I'm now going to give you 5 signs that a narcissist is secretly obsessed with you. The first sign is that they stalk you. It's that they stalk you online or in real life. They're just always there. They're always watching you. And this is really one of the biggest signs, because it reveals that they have this obsession. It reveals that they just can't let things go. They've got to feel connected to you because they feel like they're not enough on their own. They feel inadequate by themselves, but when they have this connection to you, when they feel like they have this association, it makes them feel so much better. It makes them feel better about themselves. And this is why they have to keep holding on. Because if they were to let you go, if they were to not stalk you, whether it is online or in person, if they were not to do that, then they would feel less about themselves. They feel much better paired up with you, associated with you. Think about it, if they felt better without you, if they felt more important, more valuable without you there, without having this connection or association with you, they'd probably just leave you alone. They wouldn't bother wasting their time stalking you on social media, stalking you in person, stalking you in real life. They wouldn't waste their time doing that. But they do. And they do it because it makes them feel better. It makes them feel better about themselves. Without you, they don't feel whole. They don't feel complete. And that's why they hold on to you. That's why they can't let you go. They have FOMO, a fear of missing out. They always feel like they're missing out on something with you. And that's what leads them to hold on. That's what leads them to play these games with you, where they want to act all mysterious and act like you're missing out on something with them, so that they can maintain that connection or association with you. That's what it's designed to do. Because they're constantly wondering about what is going on with you. What might they be missing out on with you? You're like some hit TV show. You're like reality TV. It's like Big Brother. You're like a movie star to them. This is why they're always watching you. Like you are a movie. And it's all because they wonder what else they might be missing. What else can they get from you? Your energy, your attention, your reactions, just information, data about what is going on in your life. This is why they keep holding on. This is why they can't let go. Because they're just wondering, what else is there to be revealed? You're like a puzzle that they cannot solve in their minds. They want to know, what are your motives? What are your intentions? What's going on with you? What are your plans? What are you doing? They want to know all these things because they lack empathy. They have an inability to put themselves in your shoes. They lack effective empathy. And so they become like predators. They're preying on you, stalking you. This is what predators do. Because they can't feel what you feel. So they can only read you cognitively. Because they have an emotional or empathetic impairment. They cannot read you emotionally. And this is why they become like predators and they stalk you. Because they cannot read into your feelings and experience. And this is what causes them to want to get as close as possible to you as they can. And to hold on for their dear lives. And never let you go. This is what causes them to become so jealous, possessive and controlling. It's because they don't even know who you are. They can't read into you and your experience. Because they're narcissists, they're predators. They've only got the cognitive aspect. They're not complete humans. They can't feel what you feel. They can't share your experience. They can't see things from your point of view. And so this is why they become like predators and they constantly stalk you. They watch you to try and figure you out. And they always feel like they're missing out on something, but it becomes very addictive. It becomes like a game that they always want to win. It's kind of like gambling, video games, social media, even pornography. It's all set up with this the social validation feedback loop. Gives them a hit of dopamine in their brains every time that they watch you, every time that they get a new bit of information about you. They learn something new. And even if you put up a new picture, they might see something new. Maybe you got a new tattoo. You got a new hobby or interest. You show something more, you reveal a bit more, and then it gives them that dopamine hit, that addiction. It's a reward for them. And this is very powerful. It is very powerful. It develops this FOMO of what they might be missing out on, and it leaves them craving, longing for more. It's very addictive. Because they had a hit before, they had a little reward, and now they want to see what are they going to get this time. It's very addictive. It's like gambling. Even the church uses this. Those of you who are Christians, Catholics, you go to church. It's like every week that you go there, they reveal something new. Another rewarding little nugget for you. And it's what we do here on YouTube as well, in these videos. It's how it's set up to be. But that's the thing. With a narcissist, it's not meant for them. What you're doing in your life, it doesn't vibe with them. There's no resonance. So you go into church every week, learning something new, getting a little reward in terms of knowledge or wisdom, or watching my videos. This is good for you. It's healthy. It's helping you. Yes, it may be addictive in some sort of way, but at the same time, it's also good. Thank you for the donation, Ghost. I appreciate you. But with what the narcissist is doing with you, this is not good for them. It's not healthy. Because they don't even like you. They want to change you. They want to control you. They want to turn your personality inside out and make you the way they want you to be. That's why they're so jealous, possessive, and controlling. The problem is your body, your mind is constantly fighting back against them. And so everything they see is making them sick. Because they're not meant for you. And you're not meant for them, but then at the same time, they kind of like it. It's just they want to have the power and control over it. They want it to be theirs. And it's not meant to be theirs. It's not meant to belong to them. And this is how they get sick, because every time they see you and you're living your life, you're doing well, you're happy, you're doing things outside of their control, you're being independent, it's wind them up. They can't stand it. Because they want you to dance to the beat of their drum. They want you to do things on their terms, under their conditions. They despise your freedom and independence. Thanks for the donation, Geneva. They despise it. They can't stand it. And this is how it's winding them up. It's making them sick. What they like is when they have control, when they can restrict your freedom and independence. That's what they get off on. That's what gives them that dopamine hits. And that can happen in ways that can manifest, such as them learning things about you, learning about your new friends, your new hobbies. To them, that's a reward. That's a dopamine hit because they're learning more. They're gaining more information. It supports their strategy of controlling you. But it's not going to be like that forever, because then their control slips away. Then something else grabs your attention or influence. Do something else outside of their control. And this is how it develops into this obsession, this addiction, where they're constantly watching you, wondering what else is going to aid their control, what else is going to be revealed to them, or any weaknesses or vulnerabilities, what else they can do to manipulate and control you. They get addicted to it because it's the only thing that makes them feel alive. It's the only thing that makes them feel better about themselves. It's having control over another person, making a separate individual no longer separate and instead connected or associated with them, even if it is just only in their minds. And yet they get off in it. And this is what they have to do. And so this is quite possibly the number one sign that a narcissist is secretly obsessed with you. It's that they will be stalking you online or in person. They will be feeding their obsession, their addiction. The second sign that a narcissist is secretly obsessed with you is that they will constantly be baiting you for reactions. Because you think about it from their end, I mean, they're constantly watching you, obsessing over you. And, they're not getting any response out of you. And they might feel like a creep. They might feel like what they're doing is wrong. They might feel a bit ashamed. And it's more fun if they can get reactions from you, because it then validates them. It validates what they're doing. It fuels them to keep going forward with that, with these sick things that are doing. They need encouragement. They need something to motivate them on that path. And they're looking for cues, signals from you. And now I know many of you don't want them to be obsessed with you, stalking you, doing all these creepy things behind the scenes. You don't even want that, but they do. They want to feed their sickness. The problem is that they do need power to continue doing that. They need encouragement from you. And that's why they're constantly baiting reactions from you. It's like constantly this game of show and tell. They're constantly displaying things to you. They're constantly trying to get under your skin. Or maybe they're trying to love bomb you. They're just constantly doing something to get reactions from you, because that then provides encouragement to them to keep going. They have to get you on the same wavelength. They have to get you in agreement, in accordance with them and with what they're thinking to do. And this is why they need reactions from you, because that's what tells them to keep going. They have no power from within. It's all determined by you. It's determined by how you react to it. And that's how, if you just stop reacting, they will do something else. They will try to get a reaction a different way, because nothing they're doing has anything really to do with them. It's something they've learned from someone else. Thanks for the donation, Mimi Reese. I appreciate all your donations today. Thank you. But yeah, they've got to get encouragement from you to keep going. They can't just go at it on their own. And why can't they go at it on their own? Perhaps because there's no divine support. Maybe that's why they can't generate the power from within. They've got to get it externally by manipulating their victims, not by being honest or open, but by being deceptive, because what they're doing is demonic. It's wrong. And that's how they have to rob, they have to exploit, they have to prey on innocent victims to get these reactions to then encourage them on this path. So that's the second sign that a narcissist is secretly obsessed with you. They're going to be constantly baiting you for reactions. They need that encouragement for them to keep going with their agenda and what they're trying to do, to feed their ego, to keep the false self alive. The third sign a narcissist is secretly obsessed with you is that they will keep bringing you up in conversations. So it doesn't matter where they are, who they're with, they're going to be constantly talking about you. They're going to be constantly gossiping about you. As you may notice it, you may hear them speaking your name. You may see something on social media. You may just see something from them that lets you know that they've been talking about you. Maybe you walk into a room and they're there with someone, and then they're just looking at you, smiling or laughing. And you know, the moment before you walked in that room, they were having a conversation about you. And why are they doing this? Why? Why do they have these obsessions to where they're constantly having conversations about you? Again, it's because their power and energy comes from you. You validate this all-powerful, omnipotent self. You make them feel alive. So they've always got your name in their mouth. They're constantly talking about you because it brings power, energy, liveliness to their lives. To have you in it, to have you to be a part of it. What they're talking about, how wonderful you are, how great. Maybe you go to the gym, maybe they're talking about how fit, how strong you are. And again, that narcissistic supply by proxy. Or it could be something bad that you're meant to have done. And they're bringing that up, they're villainizing you, demonizing you. Someone who is successful, attractive, takes good care of themselves. Oh, that makes them feel really good about themselves, to take you down. To bring you down to their level. To pull you into their mud. So yeah, they're going to be having these conversations about you. They're going to be talking about you every chance that they get. And that's just how it is. You know, it's kind of like if you met someone famous, or if someone picks you up in a really nice car. Maybe you want to go and tell all your friends about it. Yeah, it's the same thing with these narcissists. Because of how great, how wonderful you are. They want to go and tell all their friends about it. They want to get that narcissistic supply by proxy. Because they're nothing on their own. They're nobodies, they're losers. The only way they get any sort of significance, relevance, power, is by association with you. And that's why they've always got to bring you into it. That's why they've got to have these conversations about you. Because otherwise, without a conversation about you, without you involved in something, without you being associated with it, it's got nothing. It's got no power, no influence. There's no excitement about it. It just does nothing for them. It doesn't feed their ego. It doesn't make them feel special or important. Not unless you're a part of it. So that's the third sign a narcissist is secretly obsessed with you. They will be having conversations about you. The fourth sign a narcissist is secretly obsessed with you is when they are mimicking your behaviors or interests. they will just mimic all sorts of things about you. Think about it like this. I mean, they lack self-awareness. They've got you on their minds more than they're thinking about their own damn selves. You're occupying their minds. You're occupying their brain space. And it's almost to the point where it's like they feel like they are you. And then they start acting just like you. They start doing the things you do, talking the way you talk, mimicking your behaviors, mimicking your interests. This is what they start to do because you're preoccupying their mind to a troubling extent. They can't get you off of their minds. Normally you're meant to have some level of self-awareness in your mind, a sense of self. Instead, they've got your sense of self, the awareness of yourself stuck in their heads to where now they're walking about in the world thinking that they are you. And why do they do this? Why is this happening? I'll tell you why. Guess what? It's because they envy you. It's because they want to be you. It's because they secretly admire you. It's because they want the qualities that you have. They want the energy you have. Essentially, they just want to be you. And that's why they can't get you off of their minds, because it's just everything about you. And I got to tell you that. It is the way that you look. They can't get it off of their heads. The way that you look, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you walk, the way that you talk, everything that you do. Just the things that you like, the way you give your energy, passion, and enthusiasm to things. You just bring so much life to people's lives. You make people smile. You made them smile initially. You made them feel good. You made them come running to you. You made them obsess over you because they envied you and they hoped that what you had would be theirs. They hoped to become just like you. And then they realized that they couldn't, and then that really propelled their obsession. It really just made them unable to stop thinking about you. And they just wanted that feeling back. They wanted that sense of power and control. So then they held on to you. They became obsessed with you. They started to stalk you. They wanted to keep that alive. They wanted to keep that that experience, that feeling, sensation in their lives. They didn't want to let go of it, so they held on to it. And they became you. They fulfilled that role in their own lives. Because you were no longer participating in it. You no longer wanted to be a part of it. So now they're going off thinking that they are you, using the same words, phrases, and mannerisms as you do. They're walking off with that same energy. And they're sharing it with other people. They're using it to manipulate, to deceive other people. And essentially, those other people are better off with you. Those people are misled, misguided, because they're going off with an imposter, a fraud. Someone who's pretending to be you, but they're not really you. And so you know what's going to happen? The same thing that happens with them and you. You got tricked, you got deceived. You thought you met your soulmate. You thought you met the love of your life. But you didn't, you met an imposter. Someone who also admired someone else before. And that person probably wanted nothing to do with them. So the narcissist then took on that energy. They wanted to keep those feelings, the sensations in their life that uplifted the false self and made them feel powerful, made them feel grandiose. And then they carried that with them into the interaction with you to manipulate and deceive you. And then you got involved with them. It couldn't go any deeper. They couldn't expand on it. That's all that they had. And then you were left feeling disappointed and dissatisfied. And now you know it's because they just robbed it from someone else. They use it just to manipulate you, just to lure you in. Because they love that energy. They feel nothing inside. They've got nothing inside of themselves. It's just a void. All of the power and the energy, they get it externally from other people. They got it from someone before you, which they then use to manipulate to deceive you. And they then robbed it from you as well. And now they're off somewhere, who knows where they go. Probably still stalking you on social media or in real life. And they're carrying that same energy, mimicking your persona, your image, and using it to deceive other people who are also going to end up feeling very disappointed and dissatisfied. Because that's all that's going to happen. It's not really them, and they just stole it from you. They have no identity. They have no personality of their own. They're all just robots. They're just clones. That's why they all look exactly the same. Because there's nothing individual. There's nothing unique about them. And that's another reason why they're constantly stalking you, because they're looking to see what are you going to do next after they sabotage you, after they ruined your life. They want to see what new things, what new energy you're going to bring to it. You're going to bring to the world. Because of course, once they get a hold of something, they run it into the ground. They use it up until it has no feeling left anymore. And so that's why they're constantly watching you, they're constantly stalking you to see what else can they get out of you. What more energy and power can you bring to their lives? Only now they've got to do it indirectly because they know you don't want to share anything with them, because all they do is rob it from you, running into the ground so there's no feeling left in it. I mean, this could be with anything. There's so many examples. It could be a book, a movie, a song. Once they get their hands on it, they take a great big shit on it until it's just garbage after that. You could have heard the most amazing song, the most powerful lyrics. It really meant something to you. The narcissist comes along, wants to take that on, steal that power and energy from you. And then they just take a great big shit on it. And then you're left with nothing. No emotion. No feeling. No motivation. Enthusiasm. They just take it all away because they have a void. Doesn't matter what you give to them. Throw not your pearls into swine, lest they trample them. The fifth and final sign that a narcissist is secretly obsessed with you is when they make fake scenarios to reconnect. And this could be anything. It's all sorts of things. They just make something up. They act like something is wrong. Like they're in trouble. They need your help. You're obligated to do something for them. You have to be there for them. It's an emergency. Or even on special occasions. It could be Christmas, their birthday, Valentine's Day. It could be anything, but they'll always have some excuse to pull you into it. And it's really out of desperation. It's a cry for help. It's because they don't know what else to do. And in any moment, if you're dealing with a narcissist, they are thinking, what's going to have the most effect in this moment to get this person's attention on me? What do I have to do? What do I have to say? It's not about being authentic or real. They have no identity. They have no personality. They're chameleons. They're shapeshifters. They will be anything in any moment if they think it's going to have an effect on you. All they're ever focused on is the effect, the impact. They will do anything just to get your attention. They will make up these fake scenarios to reconnect. They will act like something is wrong when something isn't even wrong. They will just make something up. They will just persecute you villainize you, play the victim. They will come up with something. And again, like with every other sign, I mean, it's all because they feel like they're not enough without you. They feel incomplete without you. And again, this reveals that they operate with a false self because it's not enough on its own. It needs validation externally. And that has to come from you. So they need you to give them validation, attention, to make them feel like they exist, to make them feel like they are real. Because none of these narcissists are real. They've sold their souls. They're not real people. And that's why you'll see they just follow trends. They just go along with the crowds. There's nothing unique or special about them. There's nothing different. They're all just exactly the same. So of course they need external validation. Of course they can't validate that from within. It's not something they really believe in. It's not really something they're passionate about. All they really believe in or that they're passionate about is getting the validation. Anything else along the way, it doesn't matter. And that's how they could just throw that out like it never mattered. All of the things that they made you believe mattered to them and that they were passionate about, they just discarded that like it was nothing. They could just skip that part because all they care about is the validation. It's kind of like they just need a hit of a drug. Just like injected into them, the validation. And that's really what these people need. I mean, you know, they are deficient in dopamine. They need more dopamine. It's never enough, and this is why they're hooked up. These social validation loops, they need constant hits from you to release this reward chemical in their brains. They need more dopamine. They're hooked in it like a drug. And that's why they created a false self in the first place. It's because they need the dopamine. As for me, I can tell you, I've had enough dopamine to last me for the rest of my life. All of the notifications I get on my phone, I switch them all off. WhatsApp, TikTok, dating apps, all of it. I switched all my notifications off years ago. And every day, I take medication to inhibit the level of dopamine that is released in my brains. Because I just don't want it. I don't need it. I want to be authentic. I don't want to be addicted or dependent on a reward chemical. I don't need the reward. And that's what I recommend for all of you. I'm not talking about medication. I'm not a doctor. I can't prescribe anything, of course. But I recommend that you limit the notifications on your phone. Because, you know, just look at people in the world today. Everyone's just running around seeking attention, validation. Just look at what social media, phones have done to people. They've got them addicted to the social validation loop. And if you watch the interviews with Mark Zuckerberg, the CEOs, founders of Facebook, I've still got the videos saved on my YouTube from years ago. They planned all of this out. It was intentional. They knew exactly what they were doing. And they've got everyone hooked on validation to the point where now you just go on TikTok, you go on Instagram, look at what you see. People have taken their clothes off. People are driving around in these fancy cars with their heads out the window. This is all you see on social media these days. It's like they're all just looking for their mummy, their daddy, to validate them. They're seeking a reward. attention, validation. And this is why so many of you now, you're dealing with smear campaigns, gang stalking, because all of these people are addicted. They're hooked up to dopamine. And yeah, I know I make videos every day. I do this for you, to help you. To help the viewers, the survivors. So before anyone tries to project that up back onto me, as I said, I switched off most of my notifications years ago. And not only that, but for like the last 10 years, I've been taking medication every day that inhibits the release of dopamine. So, if anyone is a dopamine addict, it's definitely not me. Definitely limit the notifications on your phone. You don't have to switch them off completely. I mean, of course, some notifications are important, such as when I upload a new video, because I'm giving you important information on narcissists, on how to protect yourself. Educational things, things that are helping you, aiding you. They're not just superficial. Those things can be good for you, of course. And that's why I leave my YouTube notifications on. Whenever someone from my subscriptions uploads a new video, I want to know about it. I want to be informed because, you know, that's important information to me. But honestly, most of the stuff you see online is absolute garbage. People have become shells of themselves because they're just seeking validation. And that's how now smear campaigns, gang stalking, it's all so common. And it all revolves around validation. They all just want validation from the target. Because they're all just empty shells, they're not real people. And that's how we've all got to see it. That's what we've all got to understand. How's everyone doing in the live chat? If you're going to get a dopamine hit, make sure you get it from somewhere reliable, consistent, informative, with substance. Not something superficial, not something that could just disappear at any moment. It's harmful, it's toxic. But yeah, otherwise, outside of social media and dating apps, I don't want to demonize dopamine. It's not a bad thing. Dopamine is released when we eat and when we exercise. That's a good thing. It makes us want to exercise more and eat more tastier foods. So in moderation, it can be good, it can be beneficial. I mean, most things, they're not completely bad. Some things are completely bad, but most things are not. Most things are going to be good in moderation. You just need to know where that moderation is. As long as it's not harming you, or the reward is greater than the risk, and you're not putting someone else's life in jeopardy. Just in case there's any narcissists watching this, I know narcissists are always looking for an excuse, a justification to just go and just ruin the next person's life. Steady pace says we need to ignore them as much as possible. yes, that will definitely be very beneficial for you. Everything in your body will begin to improve. The dopamine neurotransmitter will begin to reset. It will relieve the adrenal fatigue, all of the cortisol that is constantly released from dealing with these narcissists. There's so many different chemicals and hormones that are released from you being involved with them. It affects you in so many different ways. It turns you into someone that you're not. You will feel so much better when you get away from them. Aaron Michael says even phrases, cooking style, the way you walk even. They try to be a carbon copy of you. Then when your back's turned, they take you out. Yeah, that's exactly what they do. They copy everything about you. Now this is the thing, because you may have experienced it already, or you may already be able to see where it's going. But yeah, I mean, they end up turning you against yourself. Because they know that they're obsolete. They know that they're inadequate, so they end up taking on your identity and turning you against you. They use you against you. Because they know they ain't got a hope in hell competing with you. So instead, their idea of the competition or rivalry is to take on your identity and just pitch you against yourself, while also targeting you and making you feel insecure. This is what they do, and then they go off with someone else and manipulate them. I mean, it's kind of, it's an easy way to take someone out. It's just to make them insecure, belittle them, while you're also taking on their identity and becoming them. So it's like making someone think that this has no value, this is no good. All the while, you're doing that yourself. This is what they do. They steal and they destroy. I really appreciate the donations today. I have been managing my spending recently. And who knows, maybe I will treat myself to something at some point. Maybe I will get a massage, you all know. I like to get a massage sometimes. Helps to just relax and clear my mind. But I have been holding off on it because my main focus is the work. You may have noticed that the quality of my content has improved a lot lately. I've been spending more time working on my videos. But yeah, I have put off getting a massage because I've still got the injury on my right arm. The muscle is still, it feels like it's torn. So I'm waiting for it to heal a bit more because of course it's not good to put any pressure on it, as that's only going to worsen its condition. It's not going to make it better. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just out here managing all of the distractions, all of the horns going constantly, or the arms waving around in front of my face. I dread to think how many degenerates I come across every day. There's so many of them I've lost count. And maybe that's why I possess such unshakable confidence because every day I look around and I'm like, yeah, thank God I'm not like you. And I guess that's my validation for my true self, for my own morality, for my belief in justice, because that's what I value. That's what I live for, and every day that is what I am fighting for. I am fighting for you. A lot of people in this world, they don't care about justice. The things I see on Instagram is absolutely insane. Just the other day, someone uploaded some pictures before and after of the war in Gaza. They had the nerve to say they shouldn't have started a war. They were blaming them, victim blaming, after they just wiped them off the map. It makes me sick to see that. I will always support the underdog. I will always fight for justice. That is something that I will always do. And I know that you will all support me in that. And yeah, you have. Over $1,000 donated to the charity supporting the children in Gaza from this channel. So we have helped to make an impact for them, to support them. Because I am against wars, anything that is an unwarranted offense, rather than something that is genuinely defensive and to protect yourself. I mean, yes, of course, you know, if your country's under attack, you have the right to defend yourself against that. When you deal with narcissists, they don't even want you to do that. They don't want you to just lay down and die because they're sick. Well, one thing I will never support is an unwarranted offense. Let it be warranted, and then maybe I can understand. And that's why I do support the victims in Gaza. And I will continue to do that. And I know many of you will unite with me against the powers that be, whoever it may be, however large or powerful they are. Together we will fight for justice until the very end. I know together we will do that. As you can see, it is starting to rain. I'm going to take out my umbrella from my bag. But I hope this video was informative for you. And if it was, as always, you are welcome to show your support by giving the video a thumbs up down below. You can also share the video, subscribe if you're new here. You're welcome to donate as well by going to my PayPal. It's paypal.me/Narc Survivor. 98 of you in here now, give it a thumbs up. Let's work together to get this out there. And if you would like guidance and support on your healing journey, I have 7 years of experience in researching about this disorder. I've worked with doctors, celebrities, many high-profile figures from around the world. Book a one-on-one with me today by going to my website, narcsurvivor.co.uk. I'm also posting quotes and short videos on my Instagram. Follow me, it is Narc Survivor YouTube. Thank you all for joining me on another Narc Survivor live video, and I will talk to you soon.